Okay, so get this. We're talking about U.S. defense spending today.
All right.
But hold on, there's a twist.
Oh, a twist.
Yeah. So usually we hear about, like, increasing the defense budget, right?
Yeah. Got to stay ahead of the game and all.
Yeah, exactly. But this time it's different.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
We've got a proposed cut.
A cut? Really?
Yeah, a cut, and not just a small one either.
Okay, now I'm really interested. Lay it on me.
So we're basing this deep dive on this Washington Post article.
Okay, the Post always has good stuff.
Right. And they're talking about this plan from Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth.
Excess. Okay.
He wants to slash the budget like a lot.
So, like, how much are we talking here?
8%.
Whoa. 8%?
Every year.
Every year.
That's a
I know it's a big deal.
That's a serious chunk of change.
For 5 years.
For 5 years. Okay, that's pretty radical.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. That could mean fewer troops in Europe.
Yeah, that would be a big shift.
And, like, a total change in focus towards other areas.
Like where?
They're talking about the Indo-Pacific.
Northern Command.
Right.
And even Space Command.
The Space Force getting all the attention these days.
Well, it seems like it, right? But anyway, Hegseth has some reasons for these cuts.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear what those are, because 8% every year for 5 years, that's...
It's erratic, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's all about bringing back this warrior ethos.
Warrior ethos, huh? That's a...
Yeah.
I don't know, I've heard that phrase, but...
Well, it's like this idea that the military's gotten too bogged down in bureaucracy.
Okay, I can see that.
And Hegseth wants to go back to basics.
Like what kind of basics?
You know, focusing on combat skills, being more agile, more aggressive.
Interesting. So less paperwork, more action.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that mean like fewer resources for the troops?
That's the thing. Hegseth thinks these cuts will actually free up resources.
How's that?
He wants to get rid of what he sees as unnecessary spending
Okay.
and push for internal reforms.
So basically streamline everything, make it more efficient.
Yeah, and he thinks that'll actually make the military stronger.
A leaner, meaner fighting force.
Exactly.
I wonder what Congress thinks about all this.
Yeah, well, the article says they're not too happy about it.
Oh, really?
Apparently, there's strong bipartisan support for increasing defense spending.
Oh, so the opposite of what Hegseth's proposing.
Yeah, and get this, there are actually two competing Republican budget resolutions.
Two. Within the same party.
Yep. One wants to increase spending by $345 billion.
Wow, that's a lot.
I know, right? And the other one wants to add $100 billion.
So even the lower one is still way more than what we're spending now.
Exactly. It's crazy, right? So we've got Hegseth over here talking about cuts and warrior ethos.
Right.
And then a big chunk of Congress wants to pump even more money into defense.
Talk about a difference of opinion.
It's wild, right? And this creates like a huge dilemma.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because the current Pentagon budget is already massive.
How much are we talking?
$850 billion.
$850 billion. That's...
I know, and that's just the Pentagon. If you add in all the other security-related expenses, it's almost $900 billion.
Wow.
So, yeah, cutting that much versus adding even more.
Yeah, that's going to lead to some serious political battles.
For sure.
It's kind of a mess.
It's definitely complicated.
And what about our allies?
Oh, yeah, that's another interesting part.
What's their take?
Well, Hegseth's been urging them to increase their own defense spending.
Oh, really? By how much?
He wants them to spend 5% of their GDP on defense.
5%? Wow, that's
it's a big ask.
That's a significant increase for most countries.
Right, but it kind of goes back to his idea of a leaner U.S. military.
So, like, we'll focus on being super efficient.
Exactly. And then we rely more on our allies for global security.
A team effort, sort of.
Yeah. But of course, getting all those countries on board...
Yeah, that's not going to be easy.
Not at all. Every country has their own stuff to deal with.
Their own budgets, their own politics.
Right, exactly. So it's a long shot.
Yeah, I could see that.
But hey, at least it's an idea. And, you know, at the end of the day, the Washington Post makes a good point.
What's that?
The president has the final say on all this.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's all up to the president.
So all this debate, all these different opinions...
It all comes down to one person.
Pretty much.
That's a lot of pressure.
I know, right? But it's also kind of exciting.
How so?
Well, it means things could change a lot depending on who's in charge.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've got this push for budget cuts, this push for increases.
A real tug of war.
And then you've got the whole international angle.
It's fascinating stuff.
A lot to think about.
It really is. So what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, about all this. Where do you think U.S. defense spending should go from here?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, do we try to be leaner and meaner like Hegseth says?
Or do we focus on having a ton of resources and a strong global presence?
Tough choices.
No easy answers.
But it's definitely something worth considering.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And hey, maybe this is just the start of your own deep dive into all this.
Yeah, go out there and do some research, people.
Learn all about defense policy. It's a fascinating world.
It really is.
So yeah, until next time, keep those brains buzzing.
Stay curious.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.